Hello once again, Mustang basketball fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Mustang Basketball with Brad Bigler. I'm your host, Kelly Loft, Athletic Communications Director at SMSU. We welcome you here at Studio One, Marshall Local Cable Access, and online at smsumustangs.com. The Mustangs coming off a road split this past weekend, losing at St. Cloud State before drilling Minnesota Duluth on Saturday, as the Mustangs get the weekend split and now return home for a couple of big games against Winona State and Upper Iowa at the RA facility. And joining us as always is the head coach, Brad Bigler. As you mentioned, the Mustangs splitting last weekend, losing a very close game. The score 91-83 to St. Cloud State, went down to the final minutes, but the Mustangs rebounded with a nice win in Duluth against UMD, winning 87-62. And Coach really played a solid basketball games of the two games. Probably 30 or let's say 60 minutes or so were pretty good. It's just maybe that 10-minute stretch there through the St. Cloud State game to start the game really the difference. Otherwise, maybe you're coming off a perfect 2-0 weekend. Yeah,
when you look at that first 10 minutes for St. Cloud, I thought, we came out a little flat, but then they also took advantage of it. And being able to get up 17 points that early in the game, that's a pretty tough deficit to come back from. But our guys did. They made it a game. They cut it to within 2 with 12 minutes left in the second half, and we had our chances to take that game if we could have made the plays down the stretch.
Yeah, as Coach mentioned several times in the first half, Mustangs trailed by 17 points, got down to a 44-31 deficit at halftime, and 12 minutes to go, it's a one-possession game. 3 minutes to go, it's down to 2, and as you mentioned, give St. Cloud State credit. They had a couple of guys step up and make some plays. You just look at some of the statistics. You shoot extremely well, 64%, 71 in the second half, but some other stats are probably more, kind of just tells you that you can shoot particularly well, but when you give up 17 possessions on turnovers, you get out rebounded by a couple and miss some free throws as well.
And that's the story of the first half. I think we had 9 turnovers the first half. We went 50% from the foul line in the first half. That's a lot of missed opportunities right there. And again, give St. Cloud credit. I think they were scoring off our turnovers, and they were just making the plays they needed to get up, 44-31 at half, and they were definitely the better team that first half.
Yeah, of course, and the Mustangs made a nice comeback there in the second half, got lots of great scoring off the bench. Sean Condon had 15 points to lead the way for Southwest, many of those in the second half. Also coming off the bench was Matt Zager. He had 12 points on a perfect 6 of 6 shooting. And let's kind of talk about that, Coach. Matt was injured in practice middle of the week last week, and the thought maybe he would miss this weekend, but obviously has some pretty good pain tolerance or whatnot, but able to play, and then played very well, and then played Saturday against Minnesota Duluth. But it just goes to show you never quite can tell how everybody responds to injuries a little bit different.
Yeah, going into the game, I thought he was out for sure. We talked even prior to him getting dressed, and I guess he went in the trainer's room, and Laura said, "Hey, why don't you give it a go in warm-ups?" And I'm walking in the locker room, I look up, and Matt Zager's dressed in uniform, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, well, Coach, Laura said I could try warm-up. So we put the starting lineup in. For those of you who don't know, you have to have the starting lineup in by 10 minutes. And so we put the starting lineup in. They came back down to the locker room. We talked at that point, and he was a go, but you can't change the starting lineup at that point. So he did come off the bench and played very well, and gave us a spark throughout the weekend.
Yes, he did. Again, 12 points on Friday night against St. Cloud State. Mustangs lose, then head north a couple of hours to take on UMD, the quick turnaround, and the Mustangs responded very well, shooting 53%, 60% in the first half. Really pulled away late in that first half, a key run to go up by 13. Very close in the first 15 minutes or so, but a team that's been playing well. Minnesota Duluth beat St. Cloud State at home. They beat Sioux Falls the night before. So as we always say, it's just important to win on the road. It's not easy to do, and the Mustangs came out and really set a tempo there early on.
And in that game, the first half, both teams were scoring at a pretty high clip, and then all of a sudden we just kind of made that run. We were able to get a couple stops, get a couple offensive rebound putbacks, and just kind of get that momentum. And going into the half, I thought our guys were pretty confident, and coming out of half, again, we were able to make another run and kind of extend that lead to the point where we were able to kind of change up our defense a little bit and really control the tempo of the game. And that second half went pretty quick.
Yeah, they had a player off their bench who had 4 3-pointers all season long, hit 5 in this game to keep the Bulldogs in it. But Southwest, a balanced attack, 7 different players scoring in double figures. It's been quite some time, if ever, has that happened, to have 7 guys in double figures in one game for the Mustangs. Nice night for Mitch Wegg, 14 points, 9 rebounds, a double-double for Nick Smith. He had 12 points and 10 boards. But be remiss if we didn't talk about the play of Bernard Birch. He has 13 points, 5 assists, 6 of 7 shooting, really playing at a high clip here in this last month.
He is. Bernard's leading us in so many ways. He's just been that leader on the floor. I've really enjoyed how he's, in the second half, he's been able to step up more and make some more play calls and really control the tempo when the ball's in his hands. And that's what you need a senior point guard to do, a guy who's capable of winning us ball games, and he's shown that this year. And yeah, he's played well. You know, the thing with Mitch and Nick, we had 15 offensive rebounds on Saturday. And part of that is going into the game, we say, you know what, we got to shoot a couple more threes. Right now we're turning down some good looks, and they drive, they kick to you, you got your feet set, let's let it fly a little bit. And that also gives Mitch and Nick an opportunity to get offensive rebounds. And that's where Mitch can really hurt teams, is on offensive rebounds. So I think we're going to try to open it up a little bit going into this weekend as well.
I was just going to ask that. You look at the stats. Friday night Mustangs 3 of 9 from long range, 6 of 26 on Saturday. Not a very high clip to say the least, but yet you score 87 points and score 83 on Friday. So very different styles of play. And as you mentioned, if you're going to miss those threes, then at least you have to rebound and get the offensive. And the Mustangs had 24 second chance points. And as you mentioned, if you're not making those rebounds, it's probably going to be a long night for you.
Well, and we were getting good looks for Duluth. They were a lot of wide open looks, but that's kind of what we're getting to right now. We're not catching the ball on the perimeter thinking shot first. We're thinking drive first. And I think it's really making us a little hesitant on shooting those threes, where we need to shoot that ball with confidence. We're going into the weekend where we're one of the top shooting teams in the league, not only in field goal percentage, but also 3-point field goal percentage. And we have some guys that can knock it down, and we need to open up the floor a little bit better.
Well, I mentioned Bernard Birch with the 5 assists. He had 5 against St. Cloud State, and he's closing in on a record just 3 away from the all-time assists record here at Southwest. He would pass Andrew Prashon for that record. And Coach, that's something that he's played a lot. Obviously, a 4-year starter, but it's a pretty good honor to get. And you need some very good players and very good teammates to knock down the shots that you make the pass. But that's something you can take pride in as well as a player to be able to lead a team like that and to have the record in assists.
And I think what you look when you're looking at Bernard, you just look at his growth in his game. I mean, even to this year, he's seeing the floor so much better. Not that he was bad prior, but he's just really getting guys open looks and making so many good decisions in traffic and making his teammates better. And when you got guys that can do that consistently, that's when good things happen. And Bernard's playing, like we've already said, like just at a high level. That the assist record is something that it shows you that he cares more about being unselfish and about team winning than scoring. I mean, that's just what a great point guard does.
And the big stat last Saturday night as well, just 5 turnovers for SMSU, 16 assists, and just hanging on the basketball is a key thing to winning these games. And the Mustangs also dominated on the rebounding, as we talked about, 39 rebounds to 22 for UMD, and a nice night again. Mitch Wegg, 6 of 6 shooting, 14 points. Sean Condon, 5 of 9 for 12 points. And Coach, Sean just continues to play. I wouldn't maybe be a surprise on the team this year, but didn't get a lot of minutes last year. But with some guys moving on with graduation, Sean has stepped up and really been a versatile player for you to shoot the basketball, but also handle the ball as well.
And what we like is just when he comes in off that bench in that second group, he has an opportunity to come in fresh. He has an opportunity to have the ball in his hands, to be that playmaker. But then we also find different rotations in the half where he's playing with Bernard and he can also be the shooter. So he's actually provided us a lot of versatility. and someone that has been very consistent throughout the year.
And you talk about just the rotations and how you're getting used to it more and more into the season now. You're finding those roles, and Drew Osmondson finding his role, and you just things like what Drew's been doing is you're going to get your 10, 11 minutes, but just be productive and don't try to do too much. And I think that's key to a winning basketball team is that everybody knows their roles. You keep stressing it, but some teams don't have guys that can figure that out, but it seems like this team is heading in the right direction on that.
And with Drew, he's a guy on the defensive end who he's in the right spots at all times. He knows how to guard on the basketball. He knows how to guard away from the basketball. And on the offensive end, sometimes it is nice to have a guy out there who's not worried about scoring, but more so just setting everybody else up. We have a lot of options to score, and the ball movement and the rhythm of the offense is sometimes pretty good when Drew's out there, just because he's that making that extra pass.
Now the Mustangs, again, the road split, losing at St. Cloud State, but coming back and beating UMD. So the Mustangs now 10-6 overall and 7-3 in the Northern Sun Conference. Let's take a look at the highlights from last weekend as the Mustangs played at St. Cloud State. As we open up here with our first highlights, Mustangs going right to left here to begin this ball game in the gold uniforms, and Bernard Birch again doing it on the offensive end with the layup.
And you see here again just Drew with that nice hard drive, drawing the defense. Matt Jagger again attacking and getting an easy two.
Again, the Mustangs fell behind 5-zip, but Birch with the basket, and then the Mustangs come back as well with Zager. Mustangs trail though 11-4 early on. Nick Smith starting to heat up there following that Mitch Wegg basket. And then Sean Condon just talking about that. And had a quiet first half with just a couple of points, but hits that jumper.
And it was kind of a game that, how St. Cloud was defending, it was a game where guys were going to have to go and finish. It wasn't a game where they're going to have to draw defenders and kick out. It really was a game where guys had to finish in the paint. And that was probably one of the reasons why the low assist ratio is.
Here's Travis Minders scoring for the Mustangs. He did get the start, had 4 points in place of Zager. Nick Smith, offensive rebound, and comes back with a hoop. And Nick really established himself this weekend, going against some pretty big players for St. Cloud State.
And Nick, again, probably looking back, we probably could have got the ball a little bit more to him. Again, going into this weekend, as we keep going and you play in those back-to-back nights, just getting those easy points, and for example, right there, getting to the rim off the drive. But Nick, getting those one-on-one in the block is something we have to find a way to continue to do throughout the year.
Bernard was fouled, and then you see the Mitch Wegg, good defensive rebound, then he draws the foul. We move out to the second half. Again, the Mustangs trailing by 13 at halftime. I think very fortunate to be down just 13 at that particular time, and the Mustangs really storm out of the gate very well here in the second half.
And it just starts on the defensive end. We were able to get stops and for the most part, pretty easy buckets on the offensive end.
There's the stop on the defensive side of things. We go into the forecourt, and the Mustangs set the offense, and cap it off here is Mitch Wegg.
It's a good move. Mitch is growing in confidence, and a couple times this weekend he both had one-on-one scoring opportunities and took advantage of it. Right there you see Drew Osmondson with a nice pass out to Joey Bartlett, again making his teammates better.
That was a redshirt freshman. From a redshirt freshman, Mitch Wegg, to Joey Bartlett make that three, coming from another redshirt freshman. So good to see those young kids making some plays. Southwest, not many threes, all three of them in the second half, but made some big shots. The Mustangs are slowly chipping away here, get it down to single digits.
And right here you see St. Cloud going to a zone, and we've had a lot of success when people went zone. Now the rhythm is different, and some of your shot selections are different, but we've scored at a pretty high clip versus zone, and hopefully the guys can continue that.
There's an and one coming up for Sean Condon. Beautiful play. Again, the Mustangs trail by 17 to get it down to single digits, down to 2 with 11 minutes remaining. Nick Smith going to work, just a tough guard. Step through for Nick. Will Giddings had a solid night as well, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 of 4 shooting. Mustangs come back the other way and take advantage of that stop, and Will gets the basket.
It's a good look, good rhythm shot by Will. Good find by Vennard, and now here you find Vennard coming back with a nice little floater over the big guy.
And Condon drills his second 3 of the night. This will get the Mustangs down 4 after a mini run by the Huskies with 7 minutes remaining.
Good spacing by the guys. Matt Zager finding Sean in the corner for the kick-out 3. Travis Miners with a nice take and foul. He made the free throws.
Yep, made both of them. And Southwest got it down to 2 with a Will Giddings dunk at the 3-minute mark, but the Huskies just made too many free throws down the stretch. Here's an offensive rebound. Mustangs drawing a foul. Nick Smith. Missed 3 here for the Mustangs, but Zager keeps it alive with the offensive board, puts in the floater. And then Joey Bartlett caps it off here with a basket as well. But a little bit too late. Mustangs come up a little bit short to St. Cloud State, 91-83. We mentioned Will Giddings, a dunk in transition, got the Mustangs within 2 with 3 minutes to go, but the Huskies on the offensive end then get a foul, make a couple of free throws, they get a stop, and really made some free throws down the stretch, and they made 22 of 31 in the game, and the Mustangs just 16 of 25, and the Mustangs lose and have their winning streak come to an end, but a quick turnaround, coach. They go up to UMD, and for whatever reason, obviously, we've been playing good basketball the last 10 years or so, but we've had this team's number. When you came here to Southwest, I think we had about 4 or 5 wins all time against UMD, and really have had their number, and it's just kind of crazy how some of those teams, you have their number, vice versa, and we go to Duluth. We've had some very good teams that have won up there, some that have lost, but somehow we just find a way to win, and it's not an easy place to play up there, and you really came out, and just great to see how they forgot about the game on Friday night, so to speak, and played very well to get this win at UMD.
This team is an experienced team. They know that in the NSIC that you have to be able to, put game, whether we win or lose, you have to put it behind you, and still you have that goal, and that goal is to go one-on-one on the weekend. It sure would be nice to be able to sweep a weekend, because I think that really puts you in an advantage, or kind of gets you a leg up. But we're still staying on track with where we want to be, and again, I thought the guys came out in Duluth and just executed. I thought they were playing unselfish basketball. Again, we were looking to shoot the 3 a little bit more, and we did. It'd be nice if we make a few more 3s, but we had 15 offensive rebounds. So guys were cleaning up the boards. They were working hard, and we were able to really get the momentum about halfway through that first half.
And the Mustangs get the win, 87-62, and I'm not sure in the second half if the score really was that close. The game was that close. Mustangs had a 30-point lead. UMD did make some 3s late, but really nice to see, again, that balanced attack. 7 different guys scoring, 16 assists, and it's just a lot of different guys getting to play. Everybody got to play that was dressed, and we're going to need all these different parts. And we've seen Cole Martin, just played 7 minutes, had 5 points, but early in the year, he had a very good game against, I think, South Dakota State. I mean, a lot of different guys are stepping up, and hopefully, knock on wood, we can remain healthy and kind of have your full roster that you need to compete at this level.
And right now we have the depth. I mean, we have the opportunity to go a little bit deeper, and but at the same time, those seniors, those starters are playing pretty good minutes right now, and really getting after on the defensive end. I think that's been the big thing since about that Christmas break. Our focus on defense has been at a better level, and we're going to need that this weekend. Going into this weekend versus Winona and Upper Iowa, both of those teams could put up some points, and there are going to be a lot of personnel type decisions away from the basketball. So it's going to be a great games. But getting back to Duluth, though, it's just one of those things right now where you got to give that maximum effort on the defensive end to score points on offense.
You're right. And again, the Mustangs 87-62, the victory. Let's take a look at the highlights from Romano Gym on the campus of UMD. And again, Southwest really played well in the first half, scored 48 points here in the white uniform, shoot 60% in that opening half. But a lot of that has to do by the play of Bernard Birch and getting some good looks here to Nick Smith. That got the Mustangs on the board. They trailed 4-0. And then Mitch Wegg here with an assist as well, finding a nice backdoor cut to Matt Zager.
Come out, Mitch then has a nice little drive here where you're going to see the ball kind of go around a little bit, a little handoff, and he's going to come off and do a hard drive down the middle. That's hard to guard. That really is hard to guard, and especially for a four-man to get through that screening action and defend the basketball.
Zager in the starting lineup in this game. He had 10 points, 4 assists, no turnovers, and gets the basket here, his second of the game. Patting Zager down the right side of the lane. And the Mustangs, again, missed 23 pointers, but made 6. And one of them right here, Joey Bartlett. You see him on the bottom of your screen. And the key, I suppose, is just when getting set before that ball is going to get to you and moving into the right spot.
And Matt Zager with a nice screen, just setting up Joey to get open shot.
Bartlett then scores inside the three-point line as well as a drive from the right wing. Nice spin for the redshirt freshman from St. Peter, Minnesota.
Then you're going to find a couple shots off end-outs. Will Giddings connecting with Matt Zager.
Yep, off the end-out. And then Will connecting on the three-pointer here on the left side of the front court. Mustangs, again, shooting 60% in that opening half, 4 of 11 from long range. There's a tough take by Bernard Birch. Again, he was nearly perfect in this game from the field.
Yeah, he tried that one long-distance three-point shot. He could have went perfect. He would have just made the extra pass, huh?
Exactly right. Both he and Wegg combining 12 of 13 from the field. And there's an acrobatic move by Birch to get that one to somehow fall in. Now here's a couple of nice plays by the Mustangs here to draw some fouls.
It would have been nice if Joey would have went up and dunked that. But that was a good hard take and good foul call by the officials.
You watch Bernard here away from the basketball, and then draws a foul. He cuts in, and UMD nothing they can do except foul Birch.
Right here, this is Drew right here, coming down, making the read, drawing two, and finding an open Nick Smith.
From 15 feet out, the elbow. Again, Nick Smith, 12 points, 10 rebounds, his second double-double of the season. Bernard with the layup, and then Barnard with another basket. Southwest starts to pull away here. They were up by 1, couple of baskets here by Birch, puts the Mustangs up 5, a tough floater in the lane. And then Zager gives the Mustangs a 7-point lead here with 3 minutes to go off a pass from Nick Smith.
What I like about these next clips, you have 5 clips in a row where guys are scoring off assists, just making their teammates better, finding the open guy. Right there, Nick Smith with a nice pass. Right here you're going to see Bernard Birch with a few assists.
Big threes here by Sean Condon to really push this lead up to 15 points and really take the momentum away from UMD.
And this take right here, this is a tough take. Gets in the paint, good hard jump stop, finds Sean on top, buries the three. Then we're going to come back around this way. It's just more of a lane line drive. He takes the lane line, guy draws in, and Sean not only knocks down the three, but probably gets fouled after the shot.
Gave the Mustangs a 15-point lead. They led by 13 at half. When we move now to the second half, and SMSU did it on both ends of the floor, shoot 47%, but limit UMD to just 33% shooting in the final 20 minutes.
And we got up in the second half. We were able to go to some zone defense and really control the tempo of the game in that second half.
Talking about those offensive rebounds, there is one for Wegg, and he is fouled on the play. And then Zager will drive to the hoop and is fouled here from the, just couldn't get it to go.
And then another, just the ball movement, the player movement. You see we get in the paint.
Condon with that basket. Again, Sean with 12 points, 5 of 9 from the floor. 4 rebounds, did not turn the basketball over.
And as the ball gets moved around here, Mitch Wake's going to take a nice one-on-one move.
Joey Bartlett didn't have the greatest shooting night, 3 of 10, 10 points total, but does get the basket here. And then Bernard takes this, gets the offensive board, and goes up strong. And Mustangs now having their way, pushing that lead to 30 points here in the second half. Giddings knocking down the 3 from the right corner. Then a good ball rotation here, Coach, on a couple of possessions here to draw the foul.
What I like is just we're able to get the ball in the paint once, 2 ball reversals, and a post touch, and Nick finds a cutting Zagger. So that's some pretty good basketball right there.
As you can see, it's just UMD all over the court trying to keep up with with SMSU, and a lot of contact there, and gets the foul before the basket, so they say. There's Condon with a drive, and then another nice job here by Joey Bartlett off a nice pass from Cole Martin. A couple chances to slam some down here in this game.
He didn't. He had a chance to make some highlights and let the contact get the better of him. But David Condon right there with a nice pass to Mitch Wake for the 2.
And Cole Martin here in the last minute, connecting on a 3 from Drew Osmondson. And we'll close it off with another rebound and a putback here for Cole Martin to close off the highlights. So Mustangs, very impressive victory off the window there, that shot for Cole Martin, and the Mustangs get the win by a score of 87-62. So the Mustangs, nice win on Saturday, now return home to take on Winona State University and Upper Iowa. The Warriors, a top 25 team, possibly a top 20 team when the rankings come out early this week. And Coach, we've talk about some success we've had against certain teams and some against not. Winona State, a great example. We've had some big wins the last couple of years in the conference tournament, but it's been a long time coming for the Mustangs to beat Winona. 2002, the last time they won in Marshall for the Mustangs against Winona State. But some big challenges coming up. Obviously taking on a nationally ranked team. And then Upper Iowa, a team we beat on the road earlier this year. Winona beat the Mustangs in Winona, but a team we're very familiar with in the Peacocks.
Yeah, with Winona, I mean, they just had a run of some pretty good teams and some very good players. I think they've had the best center in the region probably 8 out of 9 years,
Yep.
and we're able to do some pretty special things. With Upper Iowa and Coach McCowan, you know, it's just nice to see him having some success. They have, you know, they've been scoring the basketball at a pretty high clip. Now on the defensive end, they need to probably sit down and guard a little bit better, but definitely putting a lot of points up on the board, and you're going to have to kind of match that scoring if you're going to want to beat them.
Yeah, it should be a fun couple of games at the RA facility. Students are back at SMSU, schools in session, so it promises to be a great atmosphere at the RA facility. Mustangs play Winona State 8 o'clock on Friday night, and then 7 o'clock against Upper Iowa on Saturday. So promises to be great basketball for the Mustangs. They get back in, do it here as school's back in session, just a couple of weeks away from Hawaiian night and that whole entire weekend as well. So promises to be an exciting couple of months here of basketball for SMSU. Again, Friday night, Winona State, 8 o'clock, and Saturday night, 7 o'clock against Upper Iowa. For the head coach, Brad Bigler, I'm Kelly Loft. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Mustang Basketball with Brad Bigler. Until next time, go Mustangs.